Okay. So welcome everybody. Let's get into our comfortable seated position. Let's just start to settle in. So sometimes it's nice to sit on a blanket if you have a blanket or a pillow or something, just to give you a little bit of, so we can lift the spine a little bit. And we can just close our eyes. Start to watch the breath come in and out. We'll just do that for these next few moments. Just notice your breath as it comes in and out. We'll start to deepen the breath, taking a big breath in through the nose. Feel the chest rise, feel the belly expand. And then as you exhale, draw your navel in and up, really activating the abdominals on the exhalations. And we'll continue to do that. Let's relax our jaw, soften our temples. Take your shoulders up to your ears. Take the heads of the shoulders back and float them down. And feel the sit bones root down into your mat and the crown of your head rise up. Continue following your breath in and following it out. Let's take our hands behind our ears. Take a breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, bring your palms together. Thumbs will come right in front of your third eye, collecting our thoughts. Inhale. And exhale, offer your thoughts to your heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale here. Exhale, quiet the mind. Collect your thoughts. Inhale. Exhale, hands come to your heart center. And let's do that 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, quiet your mind. Breath in, and then exhale, take your hands to your heart center. And just stay here for a few more breaths. Just noticing how you feel. We could take our hands down onto our laps. Maybe even set an intention for your practice this morning. So still sitting up nice and tall, let's take our chin into our chest and take your shoulder blades toward the floor. If you'd like to, you can lightly place your fingertips on the back of your head and get that nice stretch through the back of the neck. Continue to focus on your breath here. And then release that. We'll start to take our chin toward the sky and our collarbones toward the floor. Just opening up the neck. And then bring your chin back parallel to the floor. We're going to work on the shoulders and the neck a little bit today. We'll still focus on the hips as well. Let's take our head over to the right. So just twisting over to your right. Just go where you can. Don't force it. And just notice, though, how this feels. Where's your range of motion? But notice without judgment. Just waking up the neck. And then bring your chin back to center, and we'll look over the left shoulder. Try not to hunch forward. We still want to keep the spine nice and long. And we're just twisting through the cervical spine, so we don't want the thoracic spine to go with it. We want to keep the shoulders in alignment. And then bring your chin back to center. And then we'll take our right ear to our right shoulder. We'll take your head toward the front of your mat until your left ear and left shoulder meet. And then we'll just go from one shoulder to the other. Just half circles right now going in this forward direction. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay there. And we're going to go toward the back of our mat. Same thing, half circles from one shoulder to the other. And as usual, you may hear some crackling or crunching here. You may feel a little bit tighter in this back side of your neck. And that's pretty normal. So if you find a spot that's particularly tight, you can just let your head hang there and breathe into it. Move on. You find another spot, let your head hang there. Just kind of working out all that tightness. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay there. And we'll just carefully bring our head up. So now let's take our right ear back to our right shoulder. Let me get my blocks nearby. You may need a block here, so I'm going to get one to demonstrate. So we're going to take our right ear to our right shoulder, and we're going to walk our right hand over to the right. This is where you might need a block. So we don't want to tip over. We want to make sure this left sit bone is down. So both sit bones are square on the mat. Then we're going to take the left arm out and back, and maybe down, until you find that nice stretch in the upper trapezius. And just let your head draw towards your shoulder, feeling that big stretch up in the neck, in the traps. And breathe here. Nice deep breath. We're going to hold it here just a little longer so we can go deep into the tissue and muscle. And let's take our right hand onto our right ear and just carefully guide your head up. And just sit here for a breath. And notice the right from the left. Notice all that space that we're creating. And we'll do that on the other side. So now we'll carefully take the left ear to the left shoulder. And we'll walk that left hand out. Again, use a block if you need to. Start to feel that big stretch right up here in your upper trapezius. And then we're going to take the right arm out and back and maybe down. Move it around till you find that sweet spot, that big stretch in your neck. So this is all about creating space in the areas surrounding our spine. So we do create a lot of traction in the spine in this class, but really it's about opening up and stretching the muscles around the spine to give us space and give us a little bit more freedom. And then we'll take the left hand on the left ear, carefully, slowly guide your head up. And again, sit up nice and tall. And notice all that space. Notice the movement. In fact, let's all look over the right shoulder again. And notice maybe you have a little bit more range of motion here. Just by creating that openness, that space. Come on back to center, look over your left shoulder. And then just come back. And let's get our strap. So we're going to take our strap and probably fold it in half, depending on the length. If it's on the shorter side, you probably don't want to fold it in half. We do this all the time. So you guys know where we're going with this. We're going to start out with the hands out in front. And right now, we're just going to pull to the right and pull to the left. Take the shoulders down and away from our ears. So the wrists are in line with our shoulders. And then carefully bring the arms up and overhead. So just hold it here for right now. And notice how this feels. Draw the right hand out to the right and the left hand out to the left, really pulling on your strap. Take the shoulders down away from your ears. And even here, we want to take the belly button up and in. So we're creating that length, engaging the abdominals. And then you can take your hands a little wider, and you can actually do whatever feels good right here. Stretch, open. And then we'll add that rotation. So we'll take the hands in front and up and back. Now this is where you might need to make it a little longer. To get this open right here, you might need the strap to go a little bit longer. So you know, your body will tell you. And then just go where you can go. Go nice and slow. And then maybe you can pick it up a little bit. And then we'll add the figure 8. So you can take the left hand behind and the right hand in front. And then right hand behind, left hand in front. And then let's go ahead and bring the strap back in front. And just put it over to the side. We're going to need it in a sec. Right now, we're going to take our arms out to the sides. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to cross the right elbow under the left. And then take a hold of your shoulders. Or maybe you can bring the backs of your hands together or your palms together. So you figure out what's going to work best for you here. It depends on your shoulders. And then once we get there, we press the elbows up and forward. Up and forward. So again, feeling that expansion across the shoulders. And just breathe here. So again, as you exhale, take the belly in and up. It's really engaging our abdominals, using our breath to keep the abdominals engaged and working. One more breath, press it up and forward. And then let's uncross, maybe shake it out a little bit. And then we'll do that on the other side. So arms extend out, and then we'll take the left under the right this time. Take a hold of your shoulders. Maybe bring your palms together. And then press up and forward. Keep breathing. And close your eyes if that feels good. One more breath, press it up and forward. Shoulders down away from your ears. And then let's uncross again. And shake that out. All right, now let's take our strap again. And we're going to take the strap over the right wrist. Then we'll take a hold of the strap, like this. All right, now we're going to take the arms up, this arm, the right arm up, and bring the hand down wherever you can get it. Now we've got the strap here, which is going to help us, but we're going to take our left hand, just going to help it along a little bit. Maybe we can get a little bit more openness here. And then we're even going to take our tricep toward the front of the room. So we're going to get that rotation of the arm, taking that tricep towards the top of your mat. Then we'll take the left arm out, we take the thumb down, reach around behind you and find your strap. So it doesn't matter really how far you crawl your hand up. Some of you might have more range of motion on your shoulders than others. So the strap is here to just help us get in this pose. And then we're just going to hold it here. We're going to take the low belly in and up. The right shoulder draws down away from our ear. The left shoulder draws down away from our ear. So I'm going to keep that space between the shoulders and the ears. We're sitting up nice and tall. And then just breathing. And the gaze can just be down your nose. And notice what's going on here. Sometimes this can be a little challenging for our shoulders. My right shoulder definitely does not like this. too much. I've been having a little bit of an issue there. So it's not that it doesn't like it, it's just that I feel this pose. One more breath. And then let's release. And just sit here for a breath. And just notice one side from the other. And then we'll start on the other side. So now we'll take the strap around the left wrist, reach it up, bend the elbow. And then we're going to help it. We're going to try to get that arm down a little bit more. And we're going to take the tricep toward the front of the room. We're getting it. Internal rotation. So it's an internal rotation of the arm. And then we'll take the right arm out. Thumb down and reach around, find your strap. And you might notice that one side's a little bit more open than the other. This way I touch my fingers, but I cannot on the other side. We're going to just gently pull the top up and the bottom down. Low belly draws up towards your chin. I know some of you can actually clasp your fingers. So you don't even need a strap. One more breath, pull up with the top hand and down with the bottom hand. And then carefully remove the strap. All right. So let's take a big inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, twist over to the right. So we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee and the right hand behind us. And we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, twist through. We're twisting through the thoracic spine. So really trying to get the left rib cage over toward the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe you can even look over, or just be careful, your right shoulder. So just go again where you can. We did that a little earlier, so we're just using the cervical spine to add to the twist. And then we're going to unwind, come back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist over to the left. So you can take your right hand on your left knee. The closer you get your left hand to your tailbone, the easier it's going to be to get a little bit more length in your spine. Inhale, feel your spine grow long. Exhale, twist. Lengthen. Exhale. One more, nice and long through the spine, and then maybe you can even look over your left shoulder. And then carefully come on back to center. And let's just come out of a seated position. Let's come onto our hands and knees. If you need to put a blanket underneath your knees to cushion them, we're not going to be here very long, but we're just going to stay here for a little cat-cow work. So stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Push the floor away from you. Take your tailbone towards your knees, and then look up at your belly button for cat pose. Really press the tops of your feet into the mat as well. Now we're going to take the tailbone toward the ceiling. Broaden across your collarbones. Let your belly drop toward the mat. And then the gaze can be down at the floor. Maybe if it feels okay with your neck, you can look up. And let's flow through that at our own pace a couple times. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. Just go at your own pace. It might feel good to move the hips, maybe wiggle the hips from side to side. Whatever feels good. Just kind of wake up. Maybe even make some circles with your hips. Or just do a regular cat-cow. All right, let's come to neutral spine. And we're going to swing our legs around and come onto our backs. Keep your strap nearby. We don't need it right now. I'm going to face this. Okay, so we're going to keep the strap nearby. We're going to lie down onto our backs. Take your feet
long. So you really pick up the right foot and stretch through that right leg and place it down. Pick up your left leg, stretch through the leg, press it down. Then we're going to take our arms overhead. Take your toes towards your shins and hook your thumbs together. So we're going to take a big inhale here. And as we exhale, push your heels away and reach through your fingertips, taking your belly button in and up. Inhale, just let everything go. Switch the other grip so the other thumb will come on top. Inhale, exhale, press and reach, full body stretch. Feel the stretch to the side body. Inhale, release, switch thumbs, exhale, press. Inhale, switch thumbs, exhale, reach. Now, inhale, switch your thumb grip, and then exhale. And then bring your hands down by your side. All right, take a breath here. We're gonna take the right knee up toward the chest. Press the left foot away. So the left foot's just like it was, nice and long. We want to get this internal rotation of the left leg. Hold it straight. Then we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee and take the knee over to the left. So we're going into a twist. The right arm will extend out. Inhale, press through that left heel. So it's okay, that left foot's going to turn over to the left a little bit. We're pressing through the left heel, get that left leg nice and long, and then as we exhale, we're going to go deeper into our twist. Can you keep that right shoulder down on the floor? Sometimes it helps to pick up the left shoulder a little bit to get the right shoulder down. And you press into your hand. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then bring your knee up, and we'll let that foot glide to the floor. All right, we'll take the left knee up. Right hand's gonna come on that knee. Inhale. Exhale, take the knee over to the right. And again, if your left shoulder pops up, pick the right shoulder up, try to get that left shoulder down. Inhale, press through your right leg. Get that leg nice and long. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deep twist. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll bring the knee up and float your foot to the floor. Now we're just going to go with our breath. One breath, one movement. Inhale the right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, float your foot with control. Let that foot glide and place down. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. And one more. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring your knee up. Exhale, float the foot. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, release. Twist, I mean. Inhale, bring it up. And then exhale, get ahead of myself. All right, just stay here. This is all part of the morning series. All right, so let's now take the right knee back up. We're going to keep the left leg nice and straight. This is where we really want to focus on the internal rotation. You can clasp around your right shin. And then take your forehead towards your knee. Hugging it in. If that's too much on your neck, just stay here and hug the knee up. Otherwise, take the forehead towards your knee. Come into this forward bend. Inhale. Hold it here. Push that left leg away. Draw your navel in and up. Even keep the chest open here. So we don't want to hunch in so much. The chest stays open, and then we're going to release. And we'll do that on the other side. Hug the left knee up, clasp around the knee, press through that right heel, and then we'll take the forehead toward the knee. Open up through the chest, draw the navel in and up. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. Make sure you exhale. And then we'll release. We're gonna go with our breath here. So exhale the knee up, right knee, hug it in. Inhale, let it go. Glide that foot to the floor. Exhale, left knee comes up. Inhale with control, let that foot glide and place down. Exhale, right knee up. Inhale, release. And exhale, left knee up. And inhale and release, and just stay here. And breathe. And take both knees over your hips. Place that, we want to press the entire tailbone, sacrum, and the low back into your mat. Right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left. Just take your knees over to the right. And then come back to center. And then over to the left. And come back to center. So what we're doing here, we're just giving ourselves a massage on the low back. So as you press down, you're moving from side to side. You can even make circles with your knees. Really trying to feel this massage just on all those muscles and tissue and bones. And then just come back to center and place your feet down on the floor. So let's get our strap. And I think there's nothing new on here. So most of you we've been all doing this for a while now. So we're gonna, if you've been using the loop, you could use the loop, or you can just hold on to the strap with both hands. It's really a preference. All right, and we're gonna take the strap around the right heel. Extend the left leg nice and long. So you're either holding on to both ends of the strap with both hands, or you're holding on to your loop with your right hand. And we're gonna flex both feet. So it's kind of right above the heel. And we're gonna take the, if you're holding with both hands, you wanna take both shoulders down into the mat. With the right hand, you're really taking that right shoulder down. So we're gonna pull down hard on the strap as we press into it. And then we're taking that right thigh bone away from our chin. And then drawing that low belly in and up. And just fold it here for a couple more breaths. Really pulling that strap into the heel and pressing the heel into the strap. Taking that right thigh bone away. We're gonna work on that a little bit more. So keep the right heel where it is, and then either take a hold of both ends of the strap with your left hand, or take a hold of your loop. And we're going to take our right thumb and put it into the right hip crease. So we're going to help that, pressing that thigh bone away by using our hands. So we're taking the right thumb into the right hip crease and pushing that thumb away from us. So this is where we're trying to get some traction in the low back, to try to create some space in the lumbar spine. Then we take the low belly in and up. You can pull that left shoulder down. And you're going to feel this is really opening the hamstrings. That's probably where you're feeling it the most, maybe in the calf muscle a little bit. One more breath like this. Now, keeping your right hand where it is, let's carefully take our right heel over in line with our left shoulder. So there's a little bit more sensation here, probably through the outer edge of your leg. So we're getting it into the abductors. And you're still taking your right thumb into your right hip crease and pushing that away and taking your belly button in and up. That left leg is still active. So we're pressing through the left heel, taking that left inner thigh toward the mat, and then even open up your chest here. Try to take your shoulder blades a little closer toward each other. One more breath here, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper on the next exhale. So on your exhale, take the leg over to the left. So your hip's gonna pop up here. This is gonna get into your glutes as well. Now we're in the IT band, we're in the glutes. And that left leg is going to probably splay out a little bit over to the left. That's okay. Oh, I feel this one. I feel them all. One more breath here. And then we're going to use our core strength, lift that leg up, and then remove the strap and take that foot to the edge of your mat. Just notice your right leg from your left. Now we'll set up for the other side. So we'll take our loop or our strap around the left heel, extend that leg up. Lock both shoulders if you're holding onto both ends of the strap, or your left shoulder down into your mat. And we're flexing both feet. We're going to draw the toes toward our shins. And so with this leg, you want it straight. So if you're pulling it so far that your knee's bending, take it out a little farther. We really want the work to be in the hamstrings. It's not really so much about how close you get it towards your chin. It's more about getting into your hamstrings. So even if you need to take it further toward the edge of your mat, you want to make sure you're getting this pose. All right, and we're just pulling the strap down into the foot and pushing the foot into the strap. So really feeling the engagement of the hip into the hip socket. This is really super good for our hips. And we're taking that left thigh bone away from our chin. And then drawing the low belly in and up. All right, so keeping the heel where it is, we're going to take the right hand over onto the strap. We're going to lock that right shoulder down, taking the left thumb into our left hip crease and helping get that external rotation, pushing that left thigh bone away from our head and taking the low belly toward our chin. Trying to create a little bit more traction in the low back. Nice deep breaths here. Open up the chest. Now keeping your left thumb in your left hip crease, take your heel over in line with your right shoulder. We're going to use that left thumb to continue to push that left thigh bone away and take the low belly toward our chin. The right leg is extended nice and long, and that right inner thigh is spiraling toward the floor. And then we take that right shoulder down, puff up the chest a little bit more. And then when you're ready, you can take your leg over to the right. Just go where you can. Don't take it farther than you need to. This one's pretty intense. Getting into all those other areas, the IT, all along the outer edge of your leg, getting into your gluteus maximus. One more deep breath here. And then carefully bring your leg up. And let's remove the strap. Take your leg to the edge of your mat. You can just stay here and notice the right from the left. Start the legs start to feel a little longer, a little bit more open. Okay, so now we're going to go into external rotation. So we're going to take the strap back around the right heel. The left leg's going to extend. We still want that left inner thigh spiraling down toward the floor. And you're going to take your left hand on your left hip bone. Feet are still flexed, toes are pointing towards your shins. Lock your right shoulder down. Inhale. And as you exhale, open the right leg out. So you can always put a blanket or a block underneath your right hip to support you. If you feel like especially if you feel like you're going to tip over a little bit. Flex your foot, draw your toes towards your shin. Pull the strap into your foot, press your foot into your strap, open through the chest. Keep the left hand on your left hip bone. Pull that left hip toward the floor. Inhale and exhale. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, use your core strength, pull the leg up. Release your strap and then send that foot to the floor. We're going to switch sides. All right, so the strap's around the left foot. Right leg extends nice and long. The right hand comes onto your right hip bone. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, carefully lower your leg out to the left. So the outer edge of your left foot is parallel to the floor. And that right leg is extended nice and long. The right inner thigh is turning in toward the floor, towards your mat. And the right hand pulls it right hip down. Breathing here. The chest open. Drawing the navel in and up. Try to keep the feet flexed. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring the leg up. Draw the navel in and up. And let's remove the strap and take both feet to the edge of your mat. You can put the strap over to the side for right now. All right, let's bend our knees. It might feel good to just hug the knees in right now. A lot of work. We're trying to open the hips in every direction in this hip series. Let's place the feet down. So the knees are pointing up towards your ceiling. And you can just have your hands on your belly right now. We're going to slide the right foot over to the right and let your right knee drop in towards your left foot. So some of you, I know just from teaching you in studios, if this is hard on your ankle, you can put a blanket underneath your foot. All right, so right here, you can stay here, maybe take your left foot onto your right thigh. So that's going to deepen this internal rotation of our hip. And then we check our alignment. Look up, and we're going to move the knee so the right knee's in line with our right shoulder and lower back down. If it's too much to have your foot on your thigh, just put it back down here. And you can also put a block or a blanket underneath your right knee to support that. So just check in here. How does this feel? Internal rotation. If you're feeling like you could go a little bit farther, you can take your right arm overhead and then take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Inhale, lengthen. Low belly draws in and up on your exhale. And then release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe even drag your left heel down your right thigh. So we're trying to get this nice long line from our right quadricep through the psoas. And the psoas actually initiates right at the base of the thoracic spine. So it's a pretty big muscle. So all the way up there and even up through the right wrist. And then let's uncross carefully. Bring the feet back up. Square off your hips if they scooted over to one. And then we'll slide the left foot over, let the left knee drop in towards your right foot. Same thing, check in. If it feels okay, if that feels easy or comfortable, maybe you can take your right foot on your left thigh. And then we check our alignment. Left knee in line with your left shoulder. Hands can stay on your belly, or maybe take your left arm overhead and take a hold of your wrist with your right hand. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe drag that right heel down. And then exhale, and that navel draws in and up. Inhale. Exhale. And then let's uncross. Bring both feet back on the floor. Just square off your hips. Take a breath. So now we're going to do external rotation. So we're going to take the right knee over to the right and just take your right foot behind your left foot. We check in right here. How does this feel? This is externally rotating the right hip. And if this feels fine, stay here. If it feels comfortable, maybe you can take your left heel in front of your right shin and let that left knee drop out. Or you can take your left foot onto your right thigh and let your left knee drop out to the left. So just kind of figure out what feels best with your hips. It's all externally rotated. You're going to get the benefit of the pose. It's just a matter of what your hips are comfortable doing here. And again, you can keep your hands on your hips or maybe reach your arms overhead. Or maybe even hold on to your opposite elbows. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, draw the navel in and up. And just stay here and breathe. So you might notice that your hips prefer external rotation, if this feels a little bit more comfortable for you, or maybe the other one, the internal rotation, feels a little bit more comfortable for you. And it's really a matter of how your hips insert into the socket. We all tend to be a little bit different, and each hip is different as well. You probably notice one side might be a little bit more than the other, but just check in. Just notice, again, without judgment, we're just kind of noticing what's going on in our bodies. And then let's bring the legs up, plant the feet back on the floor. And we'll do that on the other side. So the left knee is going to drop out to the left. We're going to just kind of scoot the foot behind your right heel. That's what keeps our heel. Try to make sure our hips and our shoulders stay in alignment, especially because I can't see you as well as I would in a studio. So make sure that your hips and shoulders, so the hips aren't over to one side. You want to make sure they're in line with the shoulders. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do with this right heel. It could come in front of the left shin, take that right knee out, just like a Sukhasana position, right, a cross-legged position. Or maybe you can take your right heel on your left thigh for double pigeon in a supine position. And then low belly draws in and up. Hands can stay on your belly, or you can reach your arms overhead. Big breaths in and out. And then carefully bring the feet back on the floor. You can windshield wiper your legs from side to side, or hug your knees in, or maybe take happy baby. And then get the legs moving. Again, lots of work in the hips. This is the hip series. I do this almost every class, or at least I get at least a couple of these poses in every class. And then let's come over to one side. And we're going to come on to our hands and knees to start. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a lunge. Okay, let's take our right foot forward. And you can have some blocks nearby if you need them, but right now we're just going to bring our hands up onto our right thigh. Oh, all right. We're just pressing our hands into our thigh. We want the right knee over the ankle, and then we're going to take our tailbone toward our front heel. Low belly draws in and up. So we're going to feel the psoas. So this is that extension of the psoas. Then we'll take our left arm up. Inhale. And then exhale, you can take your hand over to the right a little bit. Low belly still drawing in and up. Exhale. So you should really be feeling this right here. The more you take your tailbone towards your front heel, the more you're going to feel that stretch in your hip flexor. Big muscle right here, about the size of your wrist. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to come forward and we'll switch sides. So bring your hands up onto your left knee. The knee over the ankle, then we're going to take our tailbone toward that heel. So again, we start to feel this in that hip flexor, and then we'll take the right arm up. Low belly draws in and up. That helps lengthen, and then the tailbone draws down. Maybe take your hand over the left. Inhale. You're nice and long, take your low belly in and up, and then exhale. One more. And then come on back up. Come onto your hands and knees. And then we're going to take our, turn your toes under. We're going to spread our fingers wide. But then with your first down dog, keep your knees bent. Look at your knees so the neck stays long. So we're on our toes too. For right now, keep your heels high. Wiggle your chest to your thighs. Or maybe straighten your legs a little bit more. Keep your heels high right here. We're still looking toward the knees or the thighs. And then you can press one heel down, bend the opposite knee, and switch. Pedal your feet a time. Spread your fingers wide. Draw your armpits in towards your ears. Engage your triceps. And now look at your hands. Walk your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet and end up in a forward bend. You can let your arms dangle or hold on to your opposite elbows, but especially if you have low back pain, active low back pain, keep your knees bent. So forward bends can I'm going to stand up, but you guys start. Forward bends can make low back pain a little bit more intense. So it's best to keep your knees bent if you've got some active back. Take one more big breath in here. And then a big exhale out, release, just let it go. And then take your hands onto your hips and come all the way up. So come into Tadasana. Feet will be hip distance apart. Spread your toes nice and wide and plant your toes down. We're going to draw up through the quadriceps. Quadriceps draw toward the hips. Low belly draws in and up. Shoulders down away from your ears. And then to get your ears in line with your shoulders. So we're just going to draw the head back a little bit more. I think I talked about this last week. It's like, this is where, and you'll even notice this. In fact, do that. Kind of come forward. Let your back round. And then notice what happens. We start putting pressure on other muscles, right? The spine is not straight, so we're putting some stress onto our muscles. And then come back into Tadasana. Shoulders back and down. Ears in line with our shoulders. We're rooting down through the soles of our feet. So notice if we start creating a little bit more space, and we're not asking all those muscles around the spine to do all the work. So that's kind of the posture that we look for. I've been trying to pay a little bit more attention to that myself when I'm out walking around. Are my ears in line with my shoulders? I'm trying to keep my spine a little bit longer. So Tadasana is a really good pose for that. I talk about this, I used to say this a lot in our classes, right? When you're standing in line at the grocery store, just take a couple of breaths in Tadasana and see if you can kind of straighten your spine out. All right, let's take a big inhale, reach our arms up. Exhale, take your elbows out in line with your shoulders. Keep the chest nice and open. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, just opening up through the chest. And then inhale, reach your arms back up. Exhale, bring your hands down. Back to Tadasana, nice and tall. Crown of the head rises up. Soles of the feet root down. All right, and let's take our feet wide. We're going to turn the right toes out and the left toes in. Get your block, or if you have a chair, we've been using chairs a lot. I'm going to move my chair over here. Sometimes chairs are nice. We're going to go into triangle pose. So we're going to extend the arms out. We're going to reach out over the front toes, and you can either bring your hand on your chair. Let's start with the left hand on our hip. Use your chair, or you can use your block. Again, it's up to you. Sometimes the chair is nice because you can go a little bit deeper. We're going to stack left shoulder over the right. So with the hand on the hip, we're trying to get the shoulder up. We want to get the right rib cage to come forward. So we're really getting a twist through our thoracic spine. And the right heel intersects the back arch. We're going to press into the block or really just lengthen through the arm on the chair. So really we're working on this twist here, twisting that right rib cage toward the left. And then maybe you can extend your left arm up. The gaze can come up at your thumb or just look straight across at your screen or maybe down at your right foot. And then the low belly draws in toward the chin and that tailbone presses toward that back heel. And then using your core strength, let's come all the way up. And we'll turn our feet around. So the left toes are going to point over to the left. Right toes point in. Arms extend out. Inhale. Exhale. Reach out over your front toes. We're going to take our hand onto our block or our chair. We're going to start with the right hand on the hip. Inhale. Press into your chair or your block, and we're going to stack the right shoulder over the left again, getting this left rib cage toward the right. Inhale, lengthen. Keep the chest open, and then maybe extend your left arm up, right arm up, my left. Inhale, lengthen. Take your left butt cheek, your left gluteus maximus towards your back heel. And find your gaze. Maybe up at your thumb, straight across, down at your foot. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly come all the way up. Bring your feet in line with each other, step your feet together. Come back to Tadasana. Okay. So let's take our right foot forward and our left foot back. And here's where we're going to need blocks again. Or, yeah, we'll use the blocks today. All right, so we're going to take our hands on our hips. And our feet don't have to be in line with each other. You can have them separated so you can really get that left hip forward. So I'm going to use the hands to kind of get the hips square here. Taking that right hip back, left hip forward. Then we're going to take our hands on our hips, take the shoulder blades in toward each other, lift the heart. Inhale here, and exhale, keep the chest lifted, and we're going to come halfway down. So our torso is parallel to the floor. This is where we have the blocks. So bring the blocks so they're underneath your shoulders. Keep the chest lifted. So we're going into the hamstrings. So I feel this in the hamstrings. So draw that right hip back and press your left hip forward. Broaden across the collarbones. Yes, use a chair here. Chairs are good if you have that instead of the blocks. So hamstrings are the target area. Drawing that right hip back and the left hip forward. Taking the crown of your head toward the front of your mat and the tailbone toward the back. Inhale and exhale. Now, stay here. We're going to take our left hand and our block over toward the right foot. We're going to take our right hand onto our hip. Start to turn the torso toward the right edge of your mat. So we're stacking the right shoulder over the left for twisted triangle, for revolved triangle. Crown of the head still reaches toward the front of your mat, and then we're twisting. And then maybe extend your right arm up, or keep it on your low back. Again, this is going into the hamstrings. If you need to, you can always pick that left foot up, move it over a little bit to get deeper into your twist. And even here, the gaze can be over your left shoulder, your right shoulder. Draw that right hip back. So you should be feeling this in the hamstrings. And then let's come forward. Hands on the hips, come all the way up, and let's switch sides. And come through Tadasana first, and then we'll step the right foot back, left foot forward. Readjust your blocks. Hands on the hips, draw the left hip back, press the right hip forward. Squeeze the shoulder blade together, get a good lift here through the chest,
And then exhale, we hinge from the hips. Keep the chest lifted, bring your hands down onto your blocks. And then we're going to draw the left hip back, press the right hip forward. Broaden through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Press that right hip forward, draw that left hip back. And then we're going to take our block and slide it over toward the left foot. And there's 3 heights to the block, but sometimes it's nice to have it on a high one. And then we're going to take our left hand on our hip. We're going to start to turn our torso toward the left. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head, get your spine long, and then exhale, we add to the twist. Pulling that left hip back, pressing the right hip forward. Trying to stack the left shoulder over the right. You can always keep your hand on your low back, this left hand, or maybe extend the arm up. And the gaze can be up at the thumb, straight across, or down at your left foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then slowly come back to center. Take your hands on your hips. All the way up. And then come back through Tadasana. All right. I have not done this via Zoom. You guys, all of you have done this with me before. So you should know how to do it. We're gonna do the harness, and I know everyone loves this. I just wanna make sure I can get it, get everybody in it, because sometimes you guys, I think, have all done this and you know it well. All right, so we're gonna have to, if you got a loop, you probably have to get rid of your loop. And some of you might need to, if you have 2, I think all of you are okay with 1. But if you need to add 2 straps, you can loop 2 straps together. Let me demonstrate, and then I'll see if I can help. So I'm gonna turn this way. We're gonna take the strap. We're gonna just wiggle. So you want equal length on each side. We're gonna wiggle it up right under our armpits. And then take it over your shoulders. Okay, so it's like a backpack, okay? So one thing I do see sometimes when people haven't done it before, I see that the X here. So we don't want the X here. I'm gonna show you where the X is gonna be. Yeah. So it's over our shoulders like a backpack, and then we make the X here at the top of our neck, okay? Right up at the cervical spine. So see, now I've got both ends of the strap dangling here. I'm gonna reach back with my left hand and find the strap, or reach back with my right hand, find the strap. So I want my hands up by my shoulders, up by the armpits, and then I'm gonna pull it down, all right? So I'm gonna walk my hands back up. Actually, let me check that one hasn't done this before. Yeah, so this could be a little challenging if you haven't done it before, but it feels really good. So you make sure the X is on the cervical spine and not on the neck, the front of your neck. We walk the hands up and we pull down. And this is really good for our posture too. And I see Lisa's already done this. So then you can always, if you want to get a little fancy, you can do it up. And then you've got your harness here. And so you're just opening up the chest. Now let's bring our legs back to Tadasana. I'm gonna undo it so it can stay with something. But we're gonna stay in Tadasana. So our legs are rooting down into the mat. Kneecaps drawing into up to our shins, up to our hips. And then we're getting the shoulders nice and open here. And then if you didn't loop it up, walk your hands back up, pull it down, take your low belly in and up. So again, everyone loves this one. This should feel really good. I know it's confusing if you haven't done it before. And let's do that one more time. Walk your hands up and then pull it open. And then let's remove it and come back to Asana. And imagine that the strap is still there. So feel that openness. Now this is really where we want to be, right? We want the ears in line with our shoulders. We want that expansion across the chest. The low belly is drawing in and up. And our chest is nice and open. Okay. So let's take a big inhale, reach our arms up. And as you exhale, take a swan dive forward. Chest, chin comes forward. And then you're going to step back to down dog. Now from here, pedal your feet a couple times, broaden across your collarbones. And then come onto your hands and knees. Let's take our forearms down onto the mat. So you want your wrists right in line with your elbows. And your elbows are in line with your shoulders. All right, so we're gonna stay, you can stay here and you can work on this, taking your low belly in and up, or you can take your legs back and come into a forearm plank. So we're broadening across the shoulder blades here. Really pressing down through the forearms, pressing down through the fingertips. So really working the shoulders. Take your low belly in and up. Try to keep your hips parallel with your shoulders. If your hips are here, that's fine, just put your knees down. Because that means you need to work on your core a little bit more. Otherwise, keep the hips in line with the shoulders. Stay here if you can, a couple more breaths. Good, you guys look awesome. Even doing CX works. One more breath. And then go ahead, take your knees down on your mat. Take them wide. Bring your heels together and take child's pose. Let's take a few breaths here. Reach your arms, extend them out, make it an active child pose. Let's really reach the arms out and lengthen and press your hands into your mat. Feel the spine lengthen here as you're taking your tailbone towards your heels. And then walk your hands over to the right. You can take your left hand onto your right. Give it a nice side stretch. Walk your hands back and over to the left. Left, right hand comes on your left. And let's come on back to center. Come onto your hands and knees. And then come onto your belly. All right. Oh, my cat's right there. All right, I'm gonna demonstrate with this side so you can see me better. We're gonna take our so this is my left hand. My left hand's extended out, and I'm gonna roll over onto my left side. So my right foot is gonna pop up a little bit. I'm just gonna take the right foot and touch it over. You can always put it on a block. Here, we're opening up this left shoulder. So your head can stay down on the mat. You can always put your head on a blanket. And then, because you can't see me on this side, my fingertips are just in front of my chest. So I'm just kind of tenting my fingertips to get that opening in the shoulder. So go ahead and you can start on your belly. You're gonna roll over and take we just don't want this like kind of flying in space, right? So just put it someplace where you're comfortable. And then just roll. You're gonna feel a big stretch through that left shoulder. Stay there. Good. Yeah. And then roll back onto your belly. Take a breath. And we'll do that on the other side. So we're on the right side now. The right arm is gonna extend out. We're gonna roll over to the right. And then the left leg's gonna kind of pop up a little bit. So just so you gotta have a little control over it, you can just touch it down. And the left fingertips are in front. This should feel good. We're just opening up the shoulders. Take one more breath. And then roll back onto your belly. Okay, now find your strap. And again, some of you may not need it, but we're going to have it handy for those of us who do. So we're going to lay on our bellies. We're going to take our hands behind us, and we're going to hold on to the strap. Some of you can interlace your fingers comfortably, and if you can do that, that's fine. So chin comes to the center. Right now we're just touching our toenails on the mat. We're going to take the right shoulder down away from our ear, the left shoulder down away from our ear. Lift your heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then take your hands towards your thighs. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take your hands towards your thighs. Maybe lift your thighs off the mat for locust. Sambasan. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Open up the chest. One more breath. Get a little bit more lift. And then come all the way down. And just try to look to one side. You can wiggle your toes from side to side. And then come back to center. Take your chin back to center. Take your hands underneath your armpits. Press all 10 toenails into the mat. And let's come into cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take the heels of your hands toward your hips. Lift the heart. Low belly draws up towards your chin. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, come all the way down. I'm just trying to look the opposite direction. So I want to give you that. I want to do cobra because I want to give that as an option as well. So you can do cobra, you can do locust. If you want to go into Dhanurasana, bend your knees. We're going to lift the heart. Hands can come down by your hips. Lift the heart, reach back, find your ankles. Squeeze your inner thighs together and then kick into your hand. And you can also use the strap here around your ankles to get the same benefit. So you're going to kick into your strap. Open up the chest, open up the shoulders, wherever you are. We're kicking and opening. Otherwise, you're in cobra or locust. Wherever you are. Open, good, nice. And then go ahead, slowly lower all the way down. Look to one side. You can windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And then press back to child's. And then come onto your knees. And I'm going to face this way. So we're going to go into camel pose. And we can take our blocks, if we'd like, and place them right in line with our heels, our feet. So lots of option with camel. We basically just did it. We were on our bellies. So we're going to take our hands onto our low back, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Lift the low belly up toward your chin, and we're going to start to look up toward the ceiling. We want to focus on keeping our hips in line with our knees. Inhale, lengthen, low belly draws in and up, and toward your ceiling. Now you might be able to look back toward on the ceiling and open up a little bit more. You can stay right here, or maybe you can reach back and find one block and extend the opposite arm. And then switch as an option, or you can reach back and find both blocks. Maybe go a little bit deeper, so you might be able to reach your heels and go a little bit deeper. Some of you might be able to reach your heels on the floor. You want to make sure that you're broadening across your collarbones. I'm going to turn around and check in on you. Stay in there if you can. So good, nice. It's a nice back bend, chest opener, shoulders. And then when you're ready, slowly take your time
And come all the way up. Breath, and then you can press back to child's pose again and just stretch that out. So back bends are really good for our spine. They're actually better than forward bends, which always sounds a little weird, but that is the truth. For most things, it depends on if you have any specific issues, then we would work on that individually. So let's come back onto hands and knees and take your legs around in front. And let's lower onto our back. And use your strap again. We're going to take the strap right under the top of our thighs and the bottom of our tailbone. So right there, right underneath where your body connects to the floor. And then bend your knees so your feet are on the mat. Turn your palms up and find your strap. So your hands are pointing up the ceiling. Now we're going to kind of right even now, we're going to open up the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Walk your heels in a little closer to your buttocks. Root down through the soles of your feet and then lift your hips into bridge. And this is where you can even pick up your right shoulder and walk it under your chest. Pick up your left shoulder, walk it under your chest. On your triceps. And then we're going to take the quadriceps up toward our hips and the low belly toward our chin for bridge. And it's another nice back bend, shoulder opener. Basically just did this, right? Dhanurasana, camel, bridge. All the same pose, just we're just on the mat a little different. Lift the hips, quadricep towards your shins, and then lower down. One vertebra at a time. Stay here, we're gonna do that 2 more times. Walk your heels in, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lift your hips, puff the chest up, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Low belly draws up towards your chin. Root down through the soles of your feet. Maybe you can even come up onto your toes. Don't worry about it if you can't. And then we're going to lower down slowly. Take a breath. Exhale. One more time. Walk the heels in. Root down through the soles of your feet. Lift your hips high. You can always put a block underneath your hips if you've had enough. Or if you've had enough, just hug your knees into your chest. Can you lift your hips a little higher while you take your low belly towards your chin, quadriceps towards your hips. And then slowly come all the way down. You can move the strap, hug your knees into your chest, just rock them side to side. Let's place our knees over our hips. Actually, let's start with our feet on the floor so we have variations here. We're going to do figure 4. So take your right ankle over your left knee. And you can just press your right leg away. And that's going to that'll open up your hip, and we're getting into the piriformis now. Or lift your foot up, and we're going to clasp behind the left thigh. We're going to draw the left knee toward our nose and press the right leg away. Maybe even take your legs just slightly over to the left. So this is the piriformis. This is a muscle that passes right over the sciatic nerve. So this can cause a lot of pain as well if it's tight. And sometimes we often confuse sciatica with piriformis syndrome. So it's just a matter of kind of knowing where the pain is coming from. And then let's uncross, place both feet down. We'll start with the left ankle over the right knee. We're going to just press that leg away or reach behind your leg. Press away with the left elbow, draw the right knee up. Reach your feet. Your breath here. And then uncross. Place both feet down. Take your arms out to the sides. You're going to scoot the hips over to the right. Cross your right knee over your left and take your knees over to the left. It's just one easy twist. So if you don't like your knees crossing your twist, just stack the right knee on the left. Then bring your knees up, uncross. We'll take the hips over to the left, cross the left knee over the right, and take your knees over to the right. And then go ahead and bring your knees up. Uncross. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe take your forehead to your knees. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then we'll find Shavasana. So just take your legs out to the edge of your mat. Actually, lots of things. You guys know what you like here. You can take your legs out to the edge of your mat and roll a blanket up, place it underneath your knees. You can take your legs up a chair, which is really nice. It's a really nice release for the hips. Or your legs up the wall. I know some of you like to take your legs up the wall. Yes, everybody, I love it. You guys all know what you like to do in your Shavasana. The whole idea for Shavasana is to be able to completely relax. Good. Nice. And then once you get settled in, take your legs, and we're just going to kind of open the chest even here. Again, scoot the shoulder blades underneath the chest. You can even bring your knees together and take your feet apart. And then we start to check in here. How do we feel? Is there anything we're still holding on to? Let's notice that. And if there is, just send your breath to that place. And relax your jaw. Relax your head. Relax your fingers and toes. Just let your breath go naturally. We'll stay here. I will ring the chimes when it's time to come out. So just let everything go here. This is your time. This is your time to just completely relax. Not think about where you need to be, what you need to do.
You can begin to awaken your body. Start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Maybe reach your arms overhead, get a big stretch. And make your way over to your right side. And just stay there for another breath or two. When you're ready, you can keep your eyes closed, come up to a comfortable seated position. Just stay here for a few more breaths. Let's check in here. How are you feeling since you got on your mat a little earlier this morning? You're just feeling a little more open, maybe a little longer. Maybe just feeling a little lighter. Maybe just a little more peaceful. Let's take our hands to our heart center and thank yourself for taking this time for you, for taking this time for doing all this great work, not just for your body, but for your mind and your spirit as well. We'll thank all of our friends for joining us remotely, virtually this morning, sharing their energy with us. And I thank you so much for letting me guide you in your practice. Have a beautiful weekend. Stay cool, everyone. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Hot one.
Thank you.
You can unmute. Yeah.
Thank you.
See everybody. I'm here next week.
Thank you.
See you
Karen.
next week.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Yeah, have a good week. It's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.